Hello, everyone. I'm here and on time. Woo! Um, I will need to take a break partway through this stream so I can put some food into the oven. Yeah, so Hubs is not at home right now, and I don't want to wait until after the stream to start cooking because that's going to be like another hour before we can eat. So, you guys are just going to have to bear with the fact that I'm a normal human being and I need to cook. So that's your first warning. Now the second is not a warning. There's no other warnings. That's the only warning. So I wanted to tell you guys a little bit more about this book that we are streaming about. So let me actually turn on my second camera here. If I can find it. There it is. Okay. So you can see here this lovely book in front of me. I know that this is kind of sudden and random for you guys, but it has not actually been random for me for a long time. I was going to say composer, but the author here, Katri, we've been in contact for months, for most of this year. It's just that I've had a lot of stuff kind of happening in my life earlier this year that just was not very conducive towards content creation. Mostly is to do with caring for my husband's skin condition, but we are, not completely out of the woods right now, but life is a lot better and I can do stuff now. I can do stuff again. I have more energy as well because I know that I needed to take some time to myself to heal myself as well. And so Katri's message came to me out of nowhere. So she just kind of messaged me and was like, "Hey, I've written this book. It's about to be published." And she told me that what she has printed in here, what she's put together, and like in terms of like the exercises and stuff like that in here, and the like pedagogical advice in here and stuff like that, that was all inspired by her flute instructor. So this book is, basically it's a celebration of her flute teacher's work, her flute teacher's teaching. Her flute teacher sounds like an absolute sweetheart. And so I was very intrigued by that because I personally haven't heard of very many method books out there that are not based solely on the author's thought process of how to practice and what to practice, but on their flute teacher. And it is actually a celebration of their flute teacher. I thought that was super sweet. That really caught my eye. And the other thing that caught my eye was that Katri did not actually ask for a review. She didn't ask for a review. This review is not sponsored. I offered to do the review. So I offered to take a look at it because the contents, or like essentially the inspiration behind the contents really caught my eye. Very unusual. And I thought that, this would be something worth sharing. So that is my introduction as to why we are delving into Katri Renstrom's The Magical Flutist Exercises for Tone and Technique method book. So this is a method book. So before I kind of dive into more things that, were sort of, because I asked a few more questions about the book and what inspired her to write this book and stuff like that. So I wanted to read all of that stuff out to you guys. But before I do that, I should say hi to everyone. Hello. Hello, Nicholas, Megan, Michael, Beth, Lilac, Marshall, and Unspired. Hello. Marshall, you don't normally comment on my lives. Thank you for commenting. Welcome to the little group that we've gotten here. Fallen Leader, hello. Welcome. You upgraded from a Mandini to a YFL 222. Yay! It's really fantastic. But you lost your middle register at the upper BAG range. So likely what you need to do is you may need to kind of concentrate creating that note a little bit further back in your mouth and higher up. So like you kind of concentrate your air higher and further up than what you were doing. Or at the very least, slightly further back. That's my guess. That might help you. What age group is the book for? That is actually part of what I'm going to read for you guys. So I'll save that for later. That's a very good question, Beth. Anne-Marie, hello. I hope you don't mind that I'm just calling you Anne-Marie. Thank you. How are you doing? So Megan, Connor got his Nouveau 2 out to watch tonight. Oh, fun. Super fun. But yeah. So, by the way, guys, I do apologize that I didn't end up streaming last week. There was actually a stream scheduled, but we have had to postpone it. So that stream will happen in, I think it's like December 9th. Yeah, I think is it a Monday? I think it's a Monday. Yeah, it's Monday, December 9th. Yeah. I don't know if you guys heard about what happened to the Seattle area, but we had what's called, officially labeled, a bomb cyclone came through, and the destruction was similar to that of a hurricane. So we did not have power, and that is why I did not stream. Straight up just had no power. So we did eventually get power back, but we were out of power for almost 3 days. Which is not terrible. The only really terrible thing was that we had to throw out the contents of our fridge and our freezer. But as much as that sucks, as much as, we are throwing away a bunch of food that we have stored up and cooked and, just kind of like bought for future use. The fact that that is the worst of our concerns is quite honestly a blessing. There wasn't any like crazy major destruction to our home or anything like that, as I have heard has happened to other people. So, it's definitely has been a time, for us. The no power sucked, but at the same time, we had friends who put us up for a night. We did stay at home the first 2 nights. Yeah, so we stayed at home for the first 2 nights, and then by the third night I was like, oh, my hair is so gross, like it's just so gross. And we had friends just like, offer us a place for a hot shower and a warm place to sleep. They even fed us. But yeah, so like we were warm and safe. It's okay. I feel like a lot of people really banded together during this time. So like, as much as it sucked, everyone really kind of rallied together. So it was certainly a time. It was certainly a time. So Void had that happen when Helena went through. That's one of the hurricanes, right? The food tossing, yeah, it's pretty bad. Hey Greg, how are you? Hugh, you also had one of those in Colorado a while back. Yeah, it's so bad. Oh man. Yes, indeed, the power of friendship. Cyanide, I think it's really funny that is your username actually pronounced cyanide? Is that a thing I can actually say on stream? Or is it cyanide? So Ryan, hello, you got your flute pads fixed so your Jupiter plays so much better. That's fantastic. Okay, yeah, I remember that hurricane. Is it Helena or is it Helen? It's only a chemical compound, so it is actually pronounced cyanide. Okay, cool. Greg, you're doing well. The animation you got to record, Woodwind Sport, just dropped its pilot. What? Drop it in the, can you drop the name for us here? We'd love to check it out. That's really awesome. Congratulations. And congratulations to the whole rest of the team too. That's fantastic. Yeah. So, bathing is overrated, you guess, right, Megan? Yes, indeed. But my hair was getting so gross that I was like, well, if our friends are offering us a place to shower, like I kind of want to take that up because like it was getting gross, okay? Like gross. And I was like, they know, like okay, it'd be one thing if we had no friends to go to, right? I probably would have just done a cold shower. I probably would have just done it. Like, what are you gonna do, right? But you know, we had friends offer, so there you go. Run from Royalty. Okay, thank you for letting us know, Greg. So everyone go check out Run from Royalty. Do you know where they dropped their pilot? Where can people watch? That would be good to know. Oh, it's on YouTube. Hey! Oh yeah, that's true. Gym showers, definitely. Unfortunately, a lot of the gyms did not have power. That's the issue, right? Was that a lot of public places did not have power. So, you know, John's workplace got power pretty quickly. So I ended up kind of just bumming there, just to stay away from the cold, you know. Won't let you post the link. It's fine. We will look it up. Run from Royalty. As long as we know it's on YouTube, everyone just look up Run from Royalty. We got it. And you guys can hear GOT wins, Greg here in the chat playing the flute. Awesome. In the music, that is. Copano, hello. Hello. You got your flute in August. We'll restart soon. You have a blister on your bottom lip. I'm so sorry. Oh dear. That does not sound good. Oof. Yeah. If it was spotty loss, sometimes it works. Yeah. The power outage was impressive here. It's the most impressive power outage I've ever seen in the almost 11 years that I've lived here. So yeah, you know, that's kind of saying something. I've been here for a while and it is the most impressive power outage I've ever seen. Yeah, people were using the flashlights on their phones to shop for things at the grocery store because the grocery store generator was not big enough to power the entire store. And so they powered just enough to still be making sales, but people, it was dim in there. People were actually like using flashlights to shop. So anyway, guys, that's why I was missing last week. And you know what? I was just like, we're just going to do a makeup stream when, you know, life kind of calms down a bit. This week is Thanksgiving week in the US. So it is a short week and thus it was already filled up and booked up. But these 3 days before Thanksgiving is just like completely booked up. So there we go. Anyway, shall we? I wanted to read for you guys, you know, the answers to the questions that I had asked Katri. And I thought that it would be really fun for you guys to hear from her, you know, her thoughts as she was putting this together. So what's really fun is that this book was actually featured on Flutist Quarterly. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with this. Can you call it a magazine? It's more like a journal. I think it is by NFA and National Flute Association. So yeah, Flutist Quarterly is a huge publication in the flute world. So it's huge that she got reviewed in this fall of 2024. And one of the reviews said, with many fresh and creative approaches to familiar issues in pedagogy, this volume would be a fantastic new addition to every teacher's bookshelf. So yay, fantastic. I can't wait to dig into this myself. So here are, I believe I also link below that they were also, the Magical Flutist was also featured on the Flute Almanac. I personally hadn't even heard of the Flute Almanac until now, and I'm realizing that's actually a great source to kind of look for, like, you know, big things, what's happening in the flute world, publications and stuff like that. It looks pretty cool. So you guys can check that out in the description below. But yeah, I just wanted to read for you guys some of Katri's thoughts. So this book, with all its details, gives, at least for me, Katri, a chance to mentally go back to flute lessons. One of my colleagues said, "It feels like I'm back at Rainer Risberg's flute lessons again." So Rainer Risberg is the flute teacher from whom Katri has drawn all this inspiration to put together this book. "I always loved being in his flute lessons, and it was something I didn't want to end. I want the flute playing to remain therapeutic, or make it more therapeutic. There are lots of images in this book. Students can quite easily find a connection with nature, birds, etc. And suddenly, teaching the interpretation is not that difficult or abstract anymore. As a child, I loved the material with inspiring pictures that had, at the same time, a connection to the songs and to the technical things to be practiced. It was a lot of fun. As an adult, I have often asked, why does the fun part disappear from the teaching material? I think Rainer Risberg knew how to combine the intelligent work and having fun in practice sessions, also in professional studies. I hope that joy is reflected in this book." So earlier, I think Beth was the one who asked for what age group this is for. I believe that answers your question. It is actually written for essentially pretty much any level of amateur in mind. But it is written through the perspective of an adult learner, an adult student. So I guess you could say this is like an adult method, like an adult flute amateur method book written by an adult flute student, which I think that, if anything, was really what made me feel like I really want to share this, because this is super interesting. A lot of method books are written by professionals, and there are things that, I'm going to be completely real with you, even me, there are things that I don't realize that, like, I completely take for granted. There are a lot of things I completely don't realize I need to explain. I don't, and it takes me a little while to like learn how to explain it in a way that actually makes sense. And so having a method book that is actually written by an adult flute student is pretty dang amazing. So we will continue. A little bit more background. This is Katri's third book, but her first one in English. The Finnish edition became quite popular. So I think the Finnish edition of this book, The Magical Flutist, became quite popular. So we got the idea of an English edition, and here we are. So this is not her first, like, this is not her first rodeo. This is just the English edition. All right. So the first idea was born a long time ago. So this is Katri's words. "I started the flute as a side instrument during my professional piano studies. I was so excited about the flute. I went to the library to look for a flute book for self-study. I found lots of etudes and flute collections, but not the kind of flute book I was looking for. Well, this happened 23 years ago. So in a way, I've written this book for the 22-year-old me who wants to find out the secrets of playing the flute. This has eased the pressure of making this book. I have focused on remembering and asking myself how I have learned this, what elements do we need, and what's the easiest way to teach and explain it to others." Isn't that so nice? So after graduating, I decided to change the instrument from piano to flute. So she actually like changed her her kind of main instrument. This path took me first to pop and jazz flute studies, and then I started my studies with the warm-hearted Mr. Rainer Risberg, the original flute wizard that, this book is based on. We had lots of handwritten exercises, lots of papers around the classroom. So I started to organize these, and I also started to record all the lessons. I remember we were working with articulation, and I decided to surprise him, writing down the articulation patterns with Sibelius notation to share it with other students. And I remember Rainer saying, "You should write a book." And I did. I always remember that moment. He was experienced, and he believed in me more than I believed in myself at the time. I also knew he was retiring soon. I'm so glad I believed his words and did it. There are a lot of things in the book, but nothing is too difficult. The easy exercises are also revealing. The idea behind this is to also reduce and remove the unnecessary pressure while practicing. That's good. That's good. Focusing on the sound quality and feeling good. Rainer used to say to us, "No stress," when we started to stress. Sometimes he also said before recital rehearsal, "Forget everything." Well, that was and is actually good advice. And that's easy nowadays. All right, last thing that she has to say is just a tip about the book itself, all right? The book has an adhesive binding. Due to international publishing standards, I'm not sure what BOD stands for, but it's some sort of publishing standard. Ring binding was not allowed. So before you start, press all the pages open really well or use paper clips. So she does say that you can absolutely just like bend this thing open, okay? And she said the binding is strong, so folding the book won't break it. Okay, so she is telling you just go ahead and. But she clearly thought this through and would have preferred ring binding, which I completely agree, because it would lay better on the music stand. But due to just publishing things, like international publishing things, she wasn't able to do it. But she is telling you to just go ahead and just like fold it open to your heart's content until it just lays flat. Okay, there you go. Cool. All right. Sounds interesting, right? So you guys are following, are in the demographic. I like it. I like it. As adult students, you guys appreciate this too. Hey, Chris, yes, the book teaches you to doot. Yes, it is a dooting student teaching other dooting students. Yes, exactly. All right. So, thank you, Chris. Okay. So let's jump into it now. I'm curious to see how this starts out. I think what I'll do though is let me switch to this so that you guys can better see what's going on here. So by the way, if you guys want to purchase this book, again, if you're just tuning in and wanting to purchase it, I've linked all of the links that Katri sent me below of where you can buy it. So you can buy it at your preferred seller. It is on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all the big stuff. It's even on Powell's. Powell's bookstore. Gotta love it. Powell's in Oregon. So let's see. So Katri is a Finnish musician and flute teacher. She's completed bachelor's degrees in classical piano pedagogy, classical flute pedagogy, and pop and jazz flute pedagogy. Katri's been teaching the flute and improvisation at music schools in Finland. For example, teaching improvisation to classical flute teachers. That's really cool. That's cool. I wonder if you, Katri, you might want to write a book about that too, actually, for like improvisation specifically for classical musicians. Sounds really interesting. Recently, she's been working as a freelance flutist in Finland and as a writer of music education material. Yes, has published 2 improvisation books. Perfect. But they're in Finnish. Can you do English ones? Let's see. Katri hopes The Magical Flutist will be an inspiring daily practice book for flutists and flute teachers around the world. Wonderful. Okay. Love it. Really nice, detailed table of contents. So that's going to be really good for you guys to just kind of like look for things to practice if you guys need to. So let's see. What are the sections here? Embouchure, tone exercises, quality of sound. Oh, that's so interesting. I like that quality of sound is separated from tone exercises. So it looks like quality of sound includes a lot of kind of like tone color type stuff. I like it. Oftentimes I find that tone color gets mixed into developing, just straight developing your tone. And I always find that it confuses people. So I really like the fact that this is separated out. When I teach my own adult students, I teach only adult students. That's actually what I do. I actually separate out tone color and that type of thing. There's even like octave and tone exercises. That's so good. That's great. That's great. So there's thoughts on breathing and posture. Great. Yeah. Tonguing. And then there's advanced tone exercises. I like that. I like that you start more basic. You separate out the tone color and then you have more like advanced ones. There's also vibrato too. That's great. Cool, cool. Okay, let's see what we get started here with. Oh, the preface has a lot of what we were talking about earlier. So that's perfect. So let's see. Flute tree. I love it. So she has all the little kind of like aspects of flute playing on this tree here. I like it. Very good. I like that nuances is separated out. That's really fantastic. I like that it's called finger gymnastics, not just technique. I like that. Technique often these days, I think, has a very kind of intimidating connotation. So it's a little, I noticed this earlier, a little practice journal. So I'm guessing what you can do is photocopy this out. And then you can like take a photo of it, put it on your iPad or something, or a tablet, and then you can just kind of like write your thoughts about your practicing, what you've improved, what you would like to improve, etc. This is great. I love that there's body care. That's so good. Very, very important to keep your body like in check, keep your body healthy while you play. Lovely. Okay. So we have useful images. I love it. I like it. Think of smiling without smiling. Yes. Don't actually do a smiley embouchure. Excellent. Very good. So telling you to focus down, avoid spreading out the air. I love it. Very good. I like that there's a nice photo where you can see like how the flute is kind of like lodged in your face. That's really good. The little triangle of air here, like you imagine focusing your air down and then hitting that opposite edge. That's a very clear photo. That's fantastic. Like drawing, that is. All right, let's see. Oh, that's so cool. The upper and lower lips support each other in direction of the airstream, similar to a drain pipe directing water. Yes, I often use water to explain how airstream works. And that is very cool. I like that there's like an image there. The images really help, at least for someone as visual as me. I think the images really help. Mental image of a zipper helps us seal the edges of the lip aperture. Very good. I like that she gives several ones. That's really interesting. I think that's something you don't actually see a lot in a lot of method books. You don't see multiple images of the same concept, which I think is really important if you're trying to reach as many people as possible. That's really great. I like it. Test it. And I love it. That's so cool that like she gives you like a little guide on how to test it. That's great. So finding the optimal position for the lips. Great. Light workout. That's so great. Stick relaxation. So let's see. Hang matchsticks, drinking straws, or something similar from the corners of your mouth. Use minimal traction to hold the sticks or straws in place. Try to play something simple on the flute, for example, part of a scale, with a grip that is as relaxed as possible. Oh, that's interesting. Also try to move the sticks closer to each other, to the place where your canine teeth are. If the embouchure starts to tire while playing a piece, recall the relaxed feeling of this exercise. Should I get toothpicks? Should I try it? Wait, I've never actually tried this exercise before. Should I try this? Okay. Wait, I've never done that before. Let's see, what's this one? Stirring stick. Place a stirring stick lightly between the lips and let the embouchure form around it. Remove the stick and blow along pew without the sound. Okay. The stick helps you pucker the lips slightly. Yep. You can also make use of a drinking straw. Breathe calmly and blow a long and even airstream through the straw. This is really good for adult students. You don't get this kind of like detail. And then let's see, zooming in with tape. Place pieces of adhesive tape along the top edges of the flute embouchure hole. Top edge. Okay, the tape narrow the hole of the lip plate by a few millimeters on both sides. Oh, try to play part of a scale in the middle register. If the lip aperture is too big while playing, try zooming with the help of imaginary tapes. Clean the lip plate gently after removing the tapes. So place pieces of adhesive tape on top of the edges. Oh, interesting. So you're putting tape on the outer, on the sides of the lip hole. Is that right? Am I understanding that right? Tape on the top of edges of the tapes narrow the hole. Okay, I've never like I've definitely tried out the stirring stick one, or like I've used the straw method to kind of like help people understand how to like create a nice like airstream. But I'm so interested with this. So guys, I'm gonna have to leave the room to go grab some. I think I'm gonna grab some toothpicks. Yeah, I do have matchsticks though. Let's follow what she says. We'll get matchsticks. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, guys. I got my matchsticks. Okay, now that you guys have seen this, all right. Okay, we're gonna try this. So, drinking. Okay, so from the corner of the mouth. Wait, I didn't get my flute out yet. Chopsticks work too. So you've heard of this? So you guys have heard of this? From one of the piccolo masters. Oh, so okay, Greg, you've done this exercise? Oh, I've never done this exercise. I've never even heard of it. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay. All right, guys, I'm still on my backup flute because my dear Rose is still out. You guys have probably noticed that by now it's probably too long for it to just be a COA, but we're going to talk about that later. Okay, so hang it from the corners of your mouth. Use minimal traction to hold the sticks or straws in place. So minimal, okay? Okay. Try to play something simple on the flute. For example, part of a scale with a grip that is as relaxed as possible. Try to move the sticks closer to each other. Okay, we'll try it from the corners first. God. Okay. It weirdly, okay. In my brain, I was like, wouldn't that make you grip it harder? But it doesn't. It actually weirdly makes you more relaxed. That's like the most relaxed I've sounded in a bit, especially on this flute, because this flute is not like my main. So, okay, so where the canines are. So here. Whoa, okay. I think they're shifted. Where are my canines? My canines are. What am I doing? Okay. Here. Okay, so it's just a little bit in. Okay. Okay, legit, I've needed this exercise. Why have I never heard of this before? Okay, I'm gonna do it again now. I'm gonna imagine I'm doing that. Very excited for when my own flute comes back, because now I want to hear myself now on my main flute. This is not my main flute. Okay. I see you, Katri and Reiner. Okay, the other one I haven't heard of is the tape one. So let's get some tape. I swear, John's gonna come in here and be like, why do you have matchsticks and tape? Holy cow, that was amazing. Okay, so now we want to put pieces of tape on both sides of the hole to narrow it down just by like a few millimeters. Okay. So let's try this, just so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so just a few millimeters, huh? Okay. Do you guys know what this does? Does this just kind of like help you focus your airstream down a bit more? So a few millimeters. Is a few like 3 millimeters? Okay, well, we'll try that. This might be too much, but interesting. So this essentially like forcibly narrows the hole. Okay. Let's try that. That might be too much, but whatever. Okay, so my flute right now looks like that. This is fun. Okay. So let's try this. So she says here, try to play part of a scale in the middle register. If the lip aperture is too big while playing, try zooming with the help of imaginary tapes. Clean the lip plate gently after removing the tapes. And then there's a check here. So she says check your facial expressions in a mirror while playing and not playing. Do you see any unnecessary wrinkles while you play? So you shouldn't be wrinkling things while you play. Like essentially what she's saying here is that it should be essentially your neutral face, which is absolutely something that I have told my students before. Anyway, let's see what this does. So narrower airstream. Simulate playing on a piccolo. Possibly. Okay, let's try. So what I'm feeling is this makes your flute a lot finickier. So you can get away with much less leeway. So I know she doesn't say so, but I'm going to do some harmonics to see how finicky this is. And then we are going to try again, because there was like a moment where I was like, ooh, I'm getting like this perfect sound that sounds like there's no tape on it. So I'm going to try now. I think I'm still way too wide. Like I can hear the fuzz. This might be overkill, but I can feel I'm tensing here, so I'm gonna do both. Okay, I'm getting the idea. It's still not perfect, but every now and then I get this like perfect sound. And it feels like I've concentrated all my air into one bubble, one tiny, tiny bubble. And it's just like, I think the bubble moves around, but I'm not sure. That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. Like that. It's really hard to explain. It is so hard to explain how that feels. You guys just need to try this yourself. Like, if you put like little pieces of tape and just narrow your airstream a bit, it forces you to do a bit of like, it's exactly what she's describing here. This kind of like pew sort of embouchure. And it sounds really good. Okay, I'm going to now that I've messed around enough, I'm going to undo the tape. We'll undo it. She does say to clean it, so let's clean it. Okay. We will use Just Another Flute guys here in the chat. They're polishing cloth. So let's just cleaning that off. Okay, now that I have felt for myself what that kind of pew pew kind of like, but with the relaxed edges, now that I've felt that myself, I'm gonna try this again. Now with nothing on. Please tell me you guys hear the difference. I hear a huge difference. Wow! I learned something from this. This is so cool. Oh, I'm totally doing this matchstick thing to like a bunch of my students now. You hear the difference, right? It's like, it's crazy. It is actually crazy how much that makes a difference. Because it like, with it narrowed that far, it forces you to do like a pew, pew, pew kind of like, that sort of, I'm exaggerating it, but that's what it feels like, is kind of like as if you're going pew, pew, like that. And there's like this little space right here. Wow. Yeah, so please guys, get this book. I'm not sponsored by Katri, and she didn't even ask me to make a review. I'm doing it because when she told me what it was, I was like, this is so interesting. It's you know, and I mean, technically speaking, I guess you could say I'm an adult learner too. So like, this absolutely is speaking to me. Oh, wow. So wait, your undergrad prof studied with Ron Paul, and he called it barnacle on the boat, like the poo poo poo, like that kind of embouchure. Is that what he's talking about? Where you want to use the soft part of your lips. Oh yeah, it does make you do that, huh? Wow. Okay. Well, now I have matchsticks and tape on my desk. Nice. Okay, let's find more fun things to look at before I need to go put chicken in the oven. I am a human and I need to eat. So imagine saying the French you tu. Yeah. So interesting. I think what I like is that these written instructions, like, they force you to do, like, by doing these exercises, it forces you to do the right thing for your mouth. That I find very cool. Very, very cool. That cannot be said, in my opinion, of every method book. In my experience, a lot of method books are like, hey, you do it this way. And there are very few times where you'll actually read something that forces you to do something, and it doesn't tell you how exactly it should feel. But like, do you notice that in these directions, she's not telling you how it should feel, but she's just giving you the instruction to do it. And the act of doing the exercise is actually teaching your body how best to do it, which I think is very cool. Huh. Okay. Well, let's see. I love all the different fonts. That's super cute. Do the duck face. We're just talking about that. I love it. Let's see. I like that in here, so Katri has written in between the tones, inhale calmly to fill up the air reserve. I love it. This is something that I usually end up having to tell my students to do because it's usually not actually written into the exercise. So I love that it's straight up written in here. I think that, like, based on how this is written, I really feel like a lot of you guys can just use this book as like your like introduction or reintroduction into the flute, because like even the fact that she writes in here, inhale calmly, I like that. Okay. It is more often than not, I usually have students going, you know, between the notes, and I'm just like, no, you don't have to. No, like everyone's waiting for you. No one's, you don't have to, you don't have anywhere to be. Okay. Like you can take your time taking in these breaths. What's the most important here is like creating a good sound. It's not about doing it exactly in time or whatever. So I love that. She has little tips, little like check-ins, like what you should check for. That's so cool. I love it. She gives you mental images, and then she gives you an actual image of a hooting owl. Hoo, 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 hoo. And what's interesting is that if you do that, if you go hoo, 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 you may notice that your lower core muscles immediately kind of jump in to the party without you even really thinking about it. Yeah, your sides will open up with small breaths between the notes. Hoo, hoo. So hoo. Oh, I like that she tells you to do the sides. Yeah, because that can really help you like open up. I love it. Air staccato without tonguing, very good, because this gets your air going and doesn't make your tongue do all like the spitty air. We don't want that. Imagine the world's happiest feeling in the throat. Oh, that keeps it really light. Oh, interesting. Wait, now I want to try it too. Let's see. So my normal would be. So if I'm thinking of what she's saying here, imagine the world's happiest feeling in the throat. That's better. Yeah, that's way more relaxed. Wow. I feel like I just straight up need to go through this myself. So easy warm-ups with scales. Interesting. So she's getting you to do slightly different like articulations. That's really cool. I feel like you don't normally see this type of thing. Because you only ever really see legato and staccato, or like some form of, you know, generally detached. But I like that she's giving you like different versions to do hoo do hoo do hoo do hoo do hoo do. So, and then this is da 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 da. I like it. That's really cool. It sort of teaches your tongue to be more flexible, I think. Okay. We're going to, I think, skip around. Let's see. Oh, bicycle pump. Wait a second. This is interesting because this concept was not actually, like, I didn't learn this concept until a few years ago. So, for those of you who have been around while I've been practicing on stream, lately I have not been because life. One of our regulars, Magic Wonkichi, mentioned this kind of water wheel idea, which I think is essentially like this like bicycle pump idea. So keep the air moving with an impression of a bicycle pump. Check that the sound is pure and free from unwanted noise. Add a light bounce from the abs. From the abs. I like it. Just straight up telling you where to like pump it from your abs. That's really good. Oh, this is so great. Let's see. So bright staccatos. I love it. Oh, there's a tip. This is interesting. Play the bicycle pump in different keys along the Tafnel and Gobert's fourth exercise. The Tafnel and Gobert, T and G is what I usually call it to my students. The 17 big daily exercises. Okay, wait. I'm interested now. So the bicycle pump. So So Okay. Let's look up Tafnel and Gobert. It is on IMSLP. I'm gonna try it. Tafnel and Gobert. So I like that. So these tips and stuff sometimes kind of encourage you to do things that if you've already you've already been playing for a while. Like this is interesting because it really is making me kind of be like, oh, let me try it. Okay, so exercise 4 I think is everyone's not favorite. Right? Yep, it's the infamous one. Okay. So let's see. So it's the here. So the bicycle, play the bicycle pump. So there's 3 versions of the bicycle pump, it looks like. So there's here, there's hua, hi ha, hi ha. And then there's here. Okay, we'll try the here first. Let's start at F major, just so I don't have to go all the way down to low C first thing. Here we go. So we're starting with here. Okay? So normally I think I would go. Okay, so that's what I'd normally do. We're gonna do hia instead. Oh, sorry. Oh, there's more of a bounce to it. And it also actually forces your abs to go. If you really think of it as hia, 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 hia. Is that a time turner on the lower right page? This one? It might be. I mean, it really does look like it, doesn't it? Okay, so, yeah. So, okay, first thing is the he part of this makes the note that lands on the he a lot naturally richer. Because I think it like flattens your airstream when you say he. So it gives it a richer sound, but when you go to the ah, it kind of flicks that second note. So it's this sort of like really like sparkly kind of like a little like sparkle flick for that second note. So you get rich and then flick, rich flick, rich flick. It's so interesting. Oh, cool. Oh, that's really cool. Okay, let's try the hua now. Hua, he, ha. Hua, hua, he, ha, hua, he, ha. Okay. Hua, he, ha, hua, he, ha. Okay. Okay. Okay, what's really interesting is that by doing it that way, the who, and especially because you are slurring to the second note, the who gives a very definitive downbeat. Interestingly enough, the he gives sort of a secondary strong beat, which is perfect for this. You want that to be sort of your secondary beat. And the ha afterwards, it does that sort of flicking sound again. So the ahs are actually encouraging you to kind of like play the unimportant, like rhythmically or like beat-wise unimportant notes with a bit more of a flick. And it's very natural to do so. I have never seen this in a method book before. This is so interesting. It just kind of makes you do it in a way that sounds really musical. So now I want to try the hu ha hi ya. Okay, so let's try that. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, the who, if you think of who, it will cause the sound to be a lot stronger. Ahs and ha's are very weak. And then like es and e's are like, or e's, I get he, e's. Those are sort of secondary strength. So if you kind of like use them like in this combo here, then you get this very musical version of this exercise. So let me try it one more time. Cool. Wow. I've only ever, like, in terms of my experience with breath exercises, I've only ever been instructed with ha 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 ha. And since they're all the same vowel, it caused every note to have the same strength. But apparently, if you use different vowels with your H's, with your ha, so you do ha, he, who, yeah. Huh. That was super interesting. Wow. This is like the most detailed breathing exercises I've ever seen. Legit. I can definitely say from doing this so far, this is not for children. I like doing this so far is not for kids. I think that some of these, not that kids can't do them, but then I would highly recommend that if kids are going to be working out of this book, that you need to work out of it in conjunction with a private teacher. I think you need to be guided. But if you are an adult student, I think you can just go through this yourself, really. Definitely having a flute teacher will allow you to kind of like find what your blind spots are, because, you know, they're called blind spots for a reason, because you can't see them. So you will still have blind spots if you don't have a teacher, but I feel like this book is very good at explaining all of these, like, very actually rather advanced concepts, actually. This is very cool. Okay, let's see. Maybe I can look at something else before I need to go put chicken in the oven. We're going to continue looking at after this, even after I put chicken in the oven. It's just that I'm going to put you guys on a bit of a break screen. Ooh! There's flutter tonguing already! Hey, that's very cool! Wait a second, that's awesome! We're not that far in the book and we're already doing flutter tonguing, guys. Oh, that's so cool. Flutter tongue will help you produce an even airstream to relax your throat. First, let out a relaxed sigh of relief, then play a note with the same feeling of relief and let the tip of the tongue flutter on top of the airstream. Relax the jaw, check that you don't clench your teeth. Okay, what's interesting here is that I cannot roll my R's, but I'm going to attempt this anyway. Let's attempt it. Okay, so let out a relaxed sigh of relief. Play a note with the same feeling of relief. Okay, so we'll do what they have here. Yeah, when I actually did it like as if I'm sighing. That opened it up quite a bit. Okay, it absolutely works even if you can't roll your R's, but you may need to first do the kind of like from doing it in your throat, bringing it up to the into your mouth. You might have to do that exercise first if you don't know how to or if you can't roll your R's. So I'm more so rolling the first like third of my tongue. No, it's behind the tip of the tongue, but like, it's like if you were to cut your, this sounds horrible, but if you're to cut your tongue into quarters, I'm not fluttering in the first quarter in the tip. I'm fluttering in the second quarter, I would say. Okay. So, let's try this. I think I have taught myself to really clench while fluttering. So this part is interesting to me, this idea that I need to like relax. So we'll try it again. Okay, so I just discovered I have way better core support when I'm fluttering. So that was what I was not doing when I was going into regular playing. So when I switch from flutter to regular, I think that's what I really like about this exercise, is that it kind of forces you to like, you want to kind of go back and forth between fluttering and regular playing, because it's like, oh, what am I doing here that's different, you know? And then you kind of start to go back and forth, you know, comparing, which is good. That's a good thing to do. That's what you should be doing when you're practicing. Also, my alarm is totally going to go off very soon to go put the chicken in. Let me see if I can't stop that. Sorry, guys. There we go. Turn off the alarm. Okay. I want to try this one more time before I go put chicken in the oven. About you guys, but I hear a difference. Like the core support is much better, so it's actually kind of like giving a lot more sort of like a resonance to the tone. The tone is much more relaxed while kind of like boosted if that makes sense. It's like simulating mimicking a cat purr. Yeah, that you could say that that's basically what I'm doing. Okay. Also, hello, Deanna. And no, not Deanna. I mean, hello, Deanna, too. But hello, Saturday Night. You're the one who said, hey. Okay. I love that. There's a lot of going back and forth between Flutter and regular. That is so good. This is definitely training you to play with like a very relaxed mouth, but with like really good core support. And the fact that they're going back and forth like that allows you to compare. That's really fantastic. Really, really good. Okay, well, we made it to another section. So I think it will be good for me to take a little break now and go put chicken in the oven. So I'm gonna do that really quickly. I'll be right back. Hopefully I don't take too long. But for now, guys, if you want to check out the book and purchase it for yourself, I have linked so many sellers below that are selling this amazing book. I know, I think it's selling for about somewhere between 40 to 50 US dollars. I think it's like 42 something. At least on Amazon, I think it was like 42.50, something like that as of now. In my opinion, from what we've already learned here, this is stuff that if you were to pay for a lesson, you would be paying like probably somewhere between $60 to $75 for just 1 hour of a lesson, where you would only get a very, very small fraction of what you are getting in here. So in terms of price for how much, information you are getting, I think it's well worth it, in my opinion. Well worth the money. So anyway, I'm going to leave this here for you guys to look at and possibly read. Is that a little bit clearer for you guys? Maybe. So I will be back in hopefully 5 to 10 minutes. Hopefully I don't take too long. But for now, enjoy, and I will be back to continue perusing this. All right, let's go. Let's see. Where's my break screen? Okay, be back in a bit. right, hello. I am back. Put the chicken in the oven. So not bad. 9 minutes, I think it took me. All right. Not seeing a Canadian source to buy the book. Anyone else know? If you would like to, you can actually contact Katri. And see what that might be. Let's see. She did say you can contact her at, let me look up her official contact email. So let's see. themagicalflutist@gmail.com. All right. So yeah, if you guys want to like inquire about, like where you can get the book where you are, she can probably help you out there. So themagicalflutist@gmail.com. Chicken dance. Chia Eduardo, I know it's been months, but how have you been? It doesn't, I've been also kind of MIA too. These days I can really only do these really fun streams. I haven't really been doing the practice streams because I needed to catch up on these little projects. So, okay, wonderful. Let's keep going. I put a little timer. I have a little smartwatch here. So put a little timer for 45 minutes to make sure that the chicken doesn't burn. So I don't know if the chicken is going to be ready by then because the oven's actually still preheating. So we'll see. But hey, Brenda, how are you? So is this a practice book? Kind of. It is a method book, practice book. It is called The Magical Flutist by Katri Renstrom. It is based on her lessons with her flute teacher, Rainer Risberg. And the really interesting thing about this book is that it is an adult flute student's book written by an adult flute student. Does that make sense? Because that to me is really what makes this very interesting. So the way that she writes, the way the tips that she gives, things for you to check in, are all things that adult flute students would really, really appreciate. And she, like, I like the design of the book too. It's written very well. It's really beautiful. She has images in there too, because she was saying that she's like, how come like adult method books just get super boring? So she like included, imagery and stuff like that in here, which is, very useful for like just kind of like getting your head around some of these concepts. So yeah, it's an adult flute student method book written by an adult flute student. Yeah. So written by an adult flute student for adult flute students. That to me is super interesting. So yeah, for those of you who are just tuning in, Katri did not ask me for a review. I am doing this because I think it's interesting. So this is not sponsored. I do not get a cut of the sales. I am doing this simply because this absolutely caught my eye. And also, Katri straight up just never asked for a review. She just wanted to share this with me. So I was like, this is interesting. So yeah. Okay, so quality of sound. Let's see. Let's switch over to this screen so you guys can see what I'm reading here. Practice the correct breathing technique first. Yes. Then learn how to save air and not to overblow. I like that there is that order in which to learn things. You can't learn everything at the same time, okay? You have to kind of learn one concept and then build, which is exactly what's happening here. So for the correct pitch and intonation adjustment, air needs a sufficient amount of air pressure, and it should be quick and focused. Don't push the air out with the neck muscles. Yes, very important. Use your lower abdominal muscles. Lower abdominal muscles! It's actually written in here. Yes. I myself just learned this a few years ago. So use your lower abdominal muscles for supporting the air. At the same time, The intercostal muscles should prevent your rib cage from collapsing while playing. Wonderful. So when the sound has a good focus, no air gets wasted. Air can be projected into different cavities so that the sound resonates in different parts of the body, as in singing. Oh my gosh, cannot be more correct. When you sing or play a note you see on the staff, the fundamental note resonates in the body as well as other frequencies of the harmonic series. I like that there is this explanation. So what she's explaining here is that, like, the reason why something sounds resonant or it sounds rich is because you are, it's resonating other frequencies of the harmonic series within the note. Like there's more of these overtones that you're hearing, and that's what makes something sound rich. That's something I find that is just not really well explained in a lot of in a lot of method books, mostly because your teacher would explain it to you. But because this is an adult student's book written by an adult student for adult students, there is this, like, that's why it goes into this kind of like detail. Like this type of like writing is clearly not meant for kids. This is for adults. Yeah. I love this. So imagine that the airstream starts from the legs and swirls through the body all the way to the resonance spot between your eyes and out through the lip aperture. This image will help you to add brightness, freedom, and resonance to the sound. If the flute wobbles when you play, it breaks the focus and evenness of the blow. Yes, I have explained this to my students before. If it wobbles, then like your airstream just can't catch that opposite edge of the lip hole. If the finger movements are too heavy or the flute rests too loosely on the chin, it will be difficult to keep the flute stable. Yep. These are all concepts that I have taught to my own students. I love it. Let's see. Play with your eyes closed and imagine you are singing. Copy the tone, color, and resonance of the previous tone. While descending, don't lose the tone quality and the resonance. I love it. So what she's asking you to do is to play your high B here with the same tone color, the same richness that you hear down in the B here. So you have, again, there's this sort of like, she gives you a frame of reference and then she gives you something different to try while keeping that original frame of reference in mind. So it's always this kind of comparing. It's really good for practicing and really good for teaching yourself. And then same thing here, she gets you to do a harmonic. So this means that you finger a low E, but then you play a high B. Like, so you blow with enough air pressure that you get a high B instead. And then you play the regular B where you imitate the like fullness that like all the undertones, the overtones kind of like coming through in the harmonic. You imitate that here. And this is actually something that I have, it's a different variation of an exercise that I have given my students before as well, which is it's what I call tone matching. So essentially she's giving you a tone matching exercise here, which is fantastic. The reason why I like tone matching is because it gets you to play a note. You just play it, and that is that's the thing that you're going to compare against. So it's not like you're shooting in the dark. You have an actual thing to compare against. Then you play like the real fingering and then you match it. So my version of this goes like this. So I do C. I do a harmonic on C just up to the, play a low C. Here. I play a low C, but I do one octave higher. So that note has a lot of these kind of like the fundamental, the overtones kind of coming through because it's a harmonic. And then I get my students to play the normal fingering for that pitch. So regular fingering for that middle register C. But you want to copy how rich it sounds as the harmonic. So if we go back and forth. And you can already hear that my C, my regular fingering C, is starting to get richer and richer because I'm kind of going back and forth and I'm comparing back and forth. So let's see how hers works. So she has a lower B, and then you slide up to the higher B while imitating the richness of the lower B. And then she has a harmonic on low E for that higher B. And then you play the high B as the regular fingering. So let's try this. And I'll go here so you guys can follow along. I'm right here. So. So that's the harmonic. So I can really hear a lot of these like overtones kind of coming through when I play the harmonic version. So I'm really gonna go for that openness and all of those rich overtones in the regular version. Woo! So what I'm finding is that that particular harmonic is interesting because it really forces you to open up your throat. So, this is really helpful for me, especially because COVID and stuff happened. So I haven't had an opportunity to come back to really regular practicing. This is so nice for just like opening everything up, keeping everything nice and relaxed. This exercise actually forces you to do it because that B just won't sound good unless you're like really, really relaxed. That is really cool. I love it. And then from there, what she's doing here is like now that you've established that really nice tone, that is now your frame of reference for how that's supposed to sound. And then she is guiding you through long tones all the way down. And I like that it's completely written out for you with breath marks. Beautiful. That is something that I like. That is legitimately one of the most frequently asked questions I get in my lessons is where the heck do I breathe? I love that it's just written in here. Okay. Calmly breathe in. Okay. You don't have to go crazy. I love it. Beautiful. And then she like kind of increases the speed. I love it. Really, really good. Okay. Let's see. How to prevent the air from escaping too fast. Imagine there is an air cushion in your belly. When you blow, the cushion should stay down and remain puffy and beautiful. That is exactly what support sounds like, feels like proper support. Yeah. Wow. Katri, you're really good at this. And Reiner, yes, both of you. Imagine you have small air tanks between your ribs. Air is precious, so be careful not to let it out too fast. This image prevents the sides from collapsing and helps you to retain internal air pressure when you blow. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you never want to collapse like this. There it is. My oven is up to temperature. Okay, so let's see. How much more time do I have? Yeah. Perfect. I wanted to see how the chicken looks in 30 minutes after it came to temperature. So perfect. Okay. Oh, so cool. Okay. More reference tones. Sorry guys, here. More reference tones. Oh, there's a lot of harmonic work in here. I really like that. I love it. Imagery here. Imagine searching for the right path in a dark forest with a headlamp. When you play the long tone, you'll find the way into the light. And then she actually has a drawing of a dark forest. This is really good. I love this. She also has like notes here for these higher notes. Bright silver stars, light bounce on the first beat. I like that is just straight up written in there. Love it. Slide the right pinky. This is not for kiddos. 100% this is for an adult student. This is fantastic. Because I think kiddos looking at this will be like, what does this mean? In the same way that for a lot of method books out there, because they are actually written by professionals, there are a lot of things that I find a lot of my students will look at it and be like, what the heck does this mean? You know? And I really like that it's just explained here. It's so good. So let's see, octave and tone exercises. Okay, so interesting. So play without the tongue. Play like a diver bird calling at the lake. Keep the octave leaps fast and reflex-like. On the leap, think the corners of the mouth a bit forward. Yeah. Because that will actually encourage the lower lip to come out. Play the long tones brightly and clearly. Play juicy and fleshy low notes. Yeah, cluey. Oh, interesting. So she's given more like little syllables to play around with, and this is interesting because if you actually say cluey, it does the embouchure for you. Let me try it. I want to try it. Whoa. Okay, I did it correctly finally when I hit the G sharps. There's this like actual swoop sound. That's really cool. I like that there's like an actual syllable that you can like set of syllables. I like the swoop. It builds in the swoop for you. Because if you only think of it as ooh, 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 you don't get that swoop. So I'll show you guys what I would have done. Like there's a little bit of a swoop, but it's not as swoopy. Like it's not as musical. So we'll do it Katri's way again. In my ears, at least, there's much more of a swoop. Juicy and fleshy, but not like a bag of wasps. I love it. Glide Rider, hello, welcome to the stream. That's so cool. I think my, like, in terms of the like articulation and breathing exercises in here, I am so impressed with the syllables used in here. That's so impressive. Oh, wow. Super, super impressive. I like that they have the image of the cello. It's like, imagine having a violinist or cellist bow and doing that. It's the swoop. Whoop, whoop, you know? I've totally used that imagery with my students before. I've told them, like, you want to imitate the swoop that you get if you if you play a string instrument and you go up the octave. There's this kind of really natural swoop. I like that she put that in here. More harmonics. I love it. How do you say this, guys? Apparently this is another name for harmonics. Flageolets? Am I saying it correctly? I learned something new. Like, I've just called them harmonics. I love it. Great. So she immediately gets you to do actually C, C sharp, D, and E flat. E and F. Okay. This is more advanced. This is actually like a more advanced harmonics exercises. Oh, that's really cool. Legato, and then there's a scale trick. So she's teaching you here that you can overblow essentially a note like finger to fifth below, but then you can get an octave and a fifth higher. That's really cool. Another scale trick. This one is cool. Let's try this one. What you're actually doing is that the last four notes, you're fingering it exactly the same way as the first four notes, but you are continuing on this scale pitch-wise. I don't think, right. So I have to do one octave lower than what I was doing. Okay, got it. Okay. Is that the exercise that Carol Winsenk would get people to do? It's written in here. So, like, you guys could totally do this descending too. I love that. And she does have the harmonics listed fully out here for you. I love it. I love it. So let's see, horn sounds. The first note is regular fingering. The second note is use an upper register fingering. Ooh, wait, foghorn sound. Wait, I haven't done this. I want to try this. This is new. Okay. So first I use regular fingering. Okay. So low A flat fingering. And then high E flat fingering, but you play a low A flat. That's actually so hard. What the heck? Okay, Okay, it makes you open up the front of your mouth, which is what you want for those low notes. Do you guys hear how rich that A flat was? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, let's try another one. A natural. Okay, her tips here helped. So she said, play the first note lightly and sweetly at around mezzo piano. Let the ghost note, the same note with the upper register fingering, grow like a ship's foghorn. So like do like start low and then get bigger, like a foghorn. Okay. Imagine playing the tones from behind a mask. That is really what helped me. That imagery of like as if you're playing behind a mask. Then go back to the regular fingering, but now with an even deeper and richer tone. Okay, let's try it on the B flat. Did you guys hear how much richer that is? What the heck? What? Wait, I want to go back to A flat now. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but like I definitely made a big difference to me. This is backwards harmonics. I haven't done backwards harmonics. That's so cool. What the heck? Okay, so let's see, tone color. So Finnish flutist and flute pedagogue Tapio Hallis, I hope I'm saying that correctly, or Yalis, has identified the following two main tone colors: the frame sound, which is a light, booming, and hollow, a wooden flute sound, which is what I've said, that like lighter sound, and a centered sound, which is dark, compact, nasal, oboe-like. That's exactly, I completely and utterly agree with this. So when I have done tone color demonstrations for my students, those are the exact two that I also identify. I like it. So now I like this way of practicing tone color because it's just on like single notes. That's fantastic. Yeah. This is I think what I will teach out of. I'm just going to get my students to get this book. So I will add my 2 cents to this. So this will be essentially a combination of Katri and me. So I have noted in my reviews that generally speaking, if you want that wooden flute sound, your airstream, like the shape of your airstream, the cross section of it should be more rounded. Generally speaking, a little taller and more rounded. And then if you want that really like nasally, dark, compact oboe-like sound that she's saying here, or that Tapio is saying here, the shape of your airstream needs to be this kind of like slightly flattened, kind of bean shape, flattened and wider. Then you'll get that compact nasal sound. So I'll demonstrate for you guys in this exercise here, her first exercise. You guys will be able to hear a difference. I'll start with, for light, I'll start with that rounder airstream. Then the dark, I'll do that flatter and wider airstream. You guys can hear a difference? You guys can hear that nasally sound coming through, right? On the dark one. Is this worth buying as a teen student? Absolutely. It's just if you're a kid. I'm talking like 10 is borderline, but if you're younger than 10 years old, I think this is too advanced. But certainly if you're in high school, I think you'll really like this. This is really good. This is really great. I like that there's this kind of introduction to tone color, playing with different tone colors before you start doing it on moving notes. I love it. I love it. Gives you tells you which note to anchor on. I love it. Oh, that's so cool. So use a, this is from Marcel Moyes, Scales and Arpeggios. Let's see. So first play the phrase with one tone, then change the color. Keep the triplet fingers light and exact. Don't squeeze the instrument. Try an impression of fluttering butterfly wings. I love it, to keep your fingers nice and light. That's great. Check that the flute is stable. So 1, use a light frame sound, and then 2, use a dark centered sound. So I'm assuming, let's see. I love it. Light tone, cute cotton wool, aquarelle, etc. Dark tone, an evil witch, compact foil ball, a diamond drill, etc. Find your favorite tone color, which includes both. Yes, that's very important. Because then that is kind of your sound, essentially. It's like that middle of the road sound. I think Trevor Y talks about it too. So let's see. This here. I'm trying to figure out this like sad ooh. Let's try that. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so the door o that creates the circular airstream, and then the vowel, sad, it's flatter, and then the airstream, the shape of the airstream that comes out is flatter. So yeah, I think what I love about this book is that the syllables are so good. The syllables and the vowels that are used here are so, so good. It forces you to do a lot of the things that I have been explaining in my reviews. Or, door, or gives you the rounded, gives you the flatter. Then you end up with that's really cool. I think I would also do like I would also do the entire exercise with the lighter tone, so the vowel, and then do it the entire exercise with the with the kind of like flatter, the flatter one. Katri, you're going to make my teaching this stuff a lot easier. Wow. I'm actually like learning how to teach this now. This is so good. I love it. Gets you to alternate between the two sounds, starting from one to the other and then starting from the other, going back. I like that. That's really cool. Wow. All right, let's see. So there's lots more exercises. I love that they're all written out for you. This is really fantastic. Practice tips for fast patterns. This is another one that is a frequently asked question amongst my adult students. I like how she gives you an example and like how you would practice it. I love that that's written out. This is the short, long, short, long, short, long. And then like, you know, adding notes. I love that it's written out. Reiner was absolutely correct that you needed to write a book. Because if you were already putting this into Sibelius notation, oh, this is great. I love it. There's the long, short, long, short, long, short, short, long, short, long, short, long. These are all exercises that are usually taught in a traditional flute lesson in terms of how to practice fast passages. I love that it's actually written out here. That's amazing. Oh, I love it. I love it. And like it teaches you how to break down longer passages. So you're essentially building. This is building backwards. This is building backwards. I teach this all the time. That's fantastic. Sometimes I even go as far as like only adding one note at a time. Oh, wow. This is great. So thoughts on breathing and posture. Let's see. Breathing exercises tend to work best with simple images and visualization. It is important that breathing feels natural to you. Yes. Natural positions of the body where breathing happens in its natural place can be very useful. You can also activate deep breathing with different images. For example, imagining that you direct the air into the back pockets of your jeans can help to deepen the breath. Yeah, I feel like I've actually heard that exact imagery before. Yeah, like people talk about like breathing from your booty, you know? Deep breathing supports your playing. It makes your belly, back, and ribs expand. Breathing begins from your diaphragm and from the relaxation of your abdomen and throat. Oh, I love the wording of that. In addition to different ways of breathing, it's useful to think of the places where you inhale the air. You can also locate good spots for breathing by singing your phrases. Observe and listen to your own way of breathing. Yes! When we are stressed out and tense, our breathing becomes faster and shallower. During shallow breathing, the use of the diaphragm is ineffective, and consequently, your sound is more tense. Also, if you must learn how to breathe quickly and unnoticeably, you must learn how to breathe quickly and unnoticeably between the phrases. During quick breathing, tension is released, and your lungs suck the air in. Breathing happens as if by itself, as a reflex. That is a great way of putting it. That is so succinct. I love it. Good. This is really fantastic. References Lee Pearson, Body Mapping for Flutists. That is a very famous book in the flute world. I love it. This is really good. So check your alignment. So there's some body mapping in here. This is really good. Tonguing. Let's see. As a prerequisite for good sound, you need an airstream that supports tone. To get a clear onset, the tip of the tongue should be sufficiently in the front and close enough to the opening of the lips. If you hear a spitting sound, there's probably too much pressure behind the tongue. The attack should be clear and distinct. For example, the French syllables in such words as tu and deux are graceful and soft. Yes. So in my experience, that spitting sound typically happens when the tongue is too far forward. And then on the flip side, if the tongue is too far back, you get this kind of dull, swallowed thumping sound. So that's all I would add to that. But yeah, absolutely. I love it. Gives you, again, syllables. Do, 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 do. I love it. Great, great, great. More harmonics. Harmonics for tonguing exercises. Okay. Okay. Aim for an exact and clear attack. Imagine playing pizzicato on the violin. Da, 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 da. Ooh, I want to try this now. I haven't actually done this. Oh, okay. That's challenging. I like that exercise. I've never done that before. That's so interesting. That imagery of like a pizzicato on the violin just immediately worked. That little plucking kind of sound, that immediately worked for me. That's really cool. What the heck? So dotted rhythms. Sonorous swipe like a violin bow. Keep the air moving, maintain the exact rhythm. Don't let the tongue disturb the sound. Interesting. So normally I would probably sound like. I think that places too much emphasis on the 16th note. But if you think of it as like a violinist going like this, da 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 da. Yet another exercise I've not actually done. Huh. Interesting. I like this. Another variation on the Tafno Gobert number 4. So first variation, swipe like a violin bow. Think of picking up the 16th. Yeah, it's that motion. Interesting. Take quick breaths between notes. Second variation is try a faster tempo. Play like a trumpet. More stable. Oh, okay. Let me try that. Okay, etc., etc. I'm going to try the second variation, which is more like a trumpet. Very cool. Also, my watch is yelling at me. I should probably go check the chicken soon. I think another 5 minutes should be fine though. Wow. That's very cool. I wish I think I'm just going to do this. So I do highly recommend that you guys go to IMSLP and download your own version of the Tafnel Gobert 17 Big Daily Exercises so that you can see the entire thing on there. And you can do her variations on the Tafnel and Gobert. I like that there is references to these big works. That's something I did not expect from this. I did not expect that, like, the references to like traditional exercises and exercise books. Lovely. Let's see. Double tonguing. Ooh, double tonguing. For double tonguing, try oh, that's interesting. I've never actually done it that way before. Let's see. In double tongue, it's important to keep the same embouchure and breath support as in legato playing. Very important. The tongue movement should be as small as possible. The fingerings must also be rhythmically synchronized with the tongue. The movement of the tongue should be thought of as a tapping movement from top down instead of forward back. Yes, yes, yes. That part, that last sentence, key. Okay, absolutely key. It's tapping up and down. It's not going forward and back. The forward and back thing, unfortunately, does seem to be something that, especially where I grew up from, the San Francisco Bay Area, we tend to pronounce everything in the back of our mouths. So anytime we are told to say da-ga or ta-ka, we tend to go k-k-k or g-g-g right in our throat. So we think that we need to go forward and backwards to go ta-ka, 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 when really it's actually all in the front of your mouth and your tongue is just going up and back. Up and down. It's all in the front. It's all in the front. All your tongue is just going like this. Okay. It's not going like that. Key. That's the key sentence. Okay. I am going to go check on the chicken. I'm going to go temp the chicken and see if it is done. If it is, regardless, I will be back in about 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. And then I do want to try some of her double tonguing exercises in here, like something that looks interesting. Okay. They're all interesting, but I want something that'll challenge me. Okay. Here we go. I will be back in a hot second. All right, guys. Chicken is beautiful. Okay, it is lovely color. It's a miso glazed soy chicken. Okay. Anyway, let's find a fun little double tonguing exercise. Yeah, John made miso glaze yesterday, and I deboned a ton of chicken thighs. So I'm making a soup with the bones and the little soft bones on there, no waste. And so there's a nice broth going. And then I just kind of cut these into like larger pieces, marinated it with the miso glaze, some garlic, and some soy sauce. Let that marinate for a whole day. Then just put it in now, and it is so good. And Hubs just came back and said that we're making the outside smell amazing too. So, okay. Oh, it smells so good. But I do want to try a little bit and see what we have here. Let's look at this. So this is triple tonguing. I like that. I think what I like about this triple tonguing is it's very guided, because a lot of people get very scared of triple tonguing, but triple tonguing is actually double tonguing. So I love this. So looks like their version. So Katri's version of triple tonguing is dugga da. I have heard of sort of superimposing double tonguing on top of triplets, so you end up doing dugga 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 dugga. So or taka 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 taka. Good question, Nicholas. I grew up doing taka ta taka ta. So essentially Katri's version here, dugga da dugga da. That's the one I grew up on. So I just saw something interesting. So she gets you to do versions where you're single tonguing first and then you double tongue. I like that. That's interesting. So I'm going to try it. I think she actually does. So let's see, test both single and double tonguing. Okay. Let's try that. That's interesting. And now for single. Okay, what I find interesting is that it really forces you to compare your tongue movement between single and double. And it can help prevent you from doing that forward back motion on double tonguing. So let's try a different version here. Let's try like one of these up here. I like the comparing. I think that is one of the strengths of this book, is that it really makes you constantly compare, like using comparison to learn. That is really cool to me. That is very, very cool. I love that. Okay, we got to the advanced tone exercises. So let's see, what do we learn here? Pointers for intonation and dynamics. Okay, and I like it. Another reference. I love that there are references. This is great. This is great. Let's see. If you blow stronger when you do a crescendo, your intonation will be sharp and you waste a lot of air. When you increase the volume, you lower your jaw slightly and relax the corners of your mouth as if your lips were below your teeth. Thus, the airstream is directed more downwards and towards your toes. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. So in order to, what you're doing is counteracting the increased air, because as she says, it will make it sharper. And then to counteract that, you aim the air lower, and that will correct the pitch. But I like how she actually describes how to do it. So she's saying, lower your jaw slightly. Yep, I do that. Relax the corners of your mouth as if your lips were below your teeth. Yeah. That will aim the air low. That's great. That's great. And then same thing for if you're getting softer. So diminuendo. Here, diminuendo. If you only slow down the airflow when you play diminuendo, your intonation will drop. Because essentially, like, since your airstream is slowing down, the air speed that is hitting the opposite edge of the lip plate or lip hole is slower, and thus you're going to get a lower pitch, hence flatter. So let's see, higher tones might also drop into a lower octave. Yep, you crack low. So when you decrease the volume, you should raise the angle of the airflow. Yep, to counteract it, and slide your lower lip a bit forward, like that. That is exactly what I teach my students. So succinct. I love it. This is great. It feels like all your profs in one book, doesn't it? This is so good. Oh my goodness. Wow, this is so good. I love it. Approaching mosquitoes. Ooh. Ooh. That's so cute. I love it. Okay, we're running out of time here, so I need to kind of like make my way through here. I love it. Mysterious steps. It really gets you in the mood. I like that. And then there's Secret Agent. That's great. Oh, that's great. This is so cute. I love it. I love it. And then I like that there's a kind of another way of like just kind of like a more bullet point form version of what was just talked about. This is very important in teaching, that you kind of like have different ways of presenting the same material because it sticks in your head better. I like that. That's really good. Let's see, a few words about vibrato. This is great. Let's see. It's possible to produce vibrato in different ways. I love it. Let's see. Yeah, you can learn a lot about vibrato and how to use it musically by listening to string players and singers. That is exactly what I tell my students. I exactly tell them this. This is amazing. Oh my gosh, I feel so validated as a teacher. I also feel like, wow, there's a lot of things I still don't know, which is awesome. Because otherwise I'd be so bored. Let's see. So I love this. So relaxed and flexible. So play without the flute. Play without the flute. That's great. Pronounce the letter F and blow. So blow a blast of winds without your flute. Oh, interesting. Because that's what you do when you like practice vibrato. Like for the first time on your flute, you go hoo, 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 hoo. That's so cool. So triplets down. Small flexible bounce from a relaxed belly. Beautiful. As honestly, probably the best way that I've heard it described. I love this. And then, so combine 16 notes, pulses, and a straight note. So this is a written out version of it is a straight up vibrato exercise. Like this is vibrato training, straight up. This is fantastic. You guys can see it's getting faster and faster. This is fantastic. This is exactly how I trained my vibrato too. I love it. She also gives tempo markings for you as well. I think what I really enjoy is the mixing up of like different rhythms. That helps you understand how to control your vibrato. So you can do slow ones and fast ones. That's really, really good. I wish I had this when I was learning it. So top register basics, also another frequently asked question amongst my adult students. So perfect. Yeah, upper register requires a small lip aperture, fast airstream, and good breath support. Yep. Let's see. The image of a vowel inside your mouth should be slit. For example, from door to full. Interesting. This way you maintain the tiny air pocket between your lips and teeth. Yes, the tiny air pocket. Yes. I feel so validated. And the chute created by your lips directs the air at an optimal angle, making it seem that the flute is playing itself. I have told this exact thing to my students. Holy cow. Yeah, there's this air bubble between your lips and your teeth. And yeah, seriously, if you maintain that when you're playing high notes, it's like those high notes just play themselves. So harmonics, also useful for opening up the top register. Oh, so validated. That is exactly what I tell my students. Wonderful. So can use high G. Yep. Oh, this is so good. Oh, yes. And then upper register exercises. Fantastic. I love it. I love like she gets you to like imagine things and like, you know, also like testing it. Loosen your knee joints, squat, lean on a wall. I have done those. It's a beauty. Oh, this is so good. Oh my goodness. This really is like a combo of like the best teaching tips that I have heard in like traditional flute, classical flute lessons. Like it's the best of the best in one book. Oh my goodness. I love this. Let's see. More traction in the middle register. Interesting. So cleaning the middle register. Oh, it's that problem area. Middle register E. Yep. More sleek, more fleshy sound. I love it. Oh, so good. Just kind of like gets you like imagining things. Like imagining the correct things. I love it. Legato octave exercises. Oh, dea. So imagine you're singing dea. Oh, so good. I love like, okay. So my conclusions about this book. Okay, clearly I have not gone through everything in this book, but here, I'll just like open up to this page. The strengths of this book, one, is that it addresses all of the most frequently asked questions as an adult learner. These are questions that you don't care about if you're a kid, okay? And I like that she just answers them like bluntly and succinctly. Second is the use of comparison to practice and to teach yourself. That is like absolutely is actually how I teach. I teach that you like give yourself some sort of frame of reference that you can compare against rather than shooting in the dark. So use of comparison to practice and to teach yourself. And then the last thing is the references to other great works within the flute lexicon. So I like that it uses the Tafnel and Gobert exercise. It gives you variations on how to use the Tafnel and Gobert exercises to your advantage. I find that to be very useful, extremely useful. It allows you to explore. I think it encourages exploration. Yeah, and because it's very infrequent that I see a method book that reaches out to reference other flutists, other flute books. It's fairly rare. It's not unheard of, but it is. I just haven't seen it done this much. Like you guys saw that there was references not only to the Tafnel and Gobert, there was reference to the Moïse scales and arpeggios. There was a reference to the Finnish flutist, Tapio, was it? So yeah, that is super, super cool. And right, the last thing, fourth thing, is the use of syllables. Syllables, consonants, vowels, and syllables to get you to make the right sound. Absolutely genius use of it in this book. I've never seen breath exercises done with this amount of like precision with the syllables. I'm very impressed with the syllables. Like this, especially this octave leap thing. Oh my goodness. It just builds in that swoop right in. So it builds in correct technique right into the syllables, which is amazing. So that's my conclusion. I was not sponsored for this. I do not get a cut of the sales. Katri didn't even ask me to make this review, and I'm so glad I did, because this is a great book. This is amazing. I love it. Holy cow. Like Celestian, you just bought the book? Yes. Yes. It's really good. So, I highly recommend this, guys. I highly, highly recommend this. Please go get yourself a copy at any of the sellers down below, listed in the video description. But yeah, Katri, thank you so much for sending this to me, and thank you so much for contacting me. Reiner, if you are watching, and your wife too, hello, both of you. Thank you for passing this down. Thank you for encouraging Katri to make this book, because truly, I think this is the adult flute method book that is needed. So, Katri, please write more books. Maybe do an English version of the improvisation one. I think that is yet another niche that you can fill. So, okay, I am done. I had a ton of fun doing this. I knew that some great moments were going to come out of this. And yeah, new flute Bible. Absolutely. This is, in my opinion, the adult flute student Bible. This is it. I like that it's not that big. It's not crazy, like, what's the word? Intimidating. I love that. So, you just joined, Francisco. I'm sorry, but we had some great moments. I think I might turn some of these moments into a short or two. But yeah. So yes, exactly. It's very condensed, concentrated, very succinct. I love it. It's great. Like, wow. It's so good. But no, I do not recommend this for kids. So like, it's essentially single digit age, I think will be like, what? But for adults, it is so good. Very good. No water added. Just full concentrate. This flute concentrate. Anyway, I'm going to excuse myself so I can catch some dinner with John. I love you all so very, very much. Please take care of yourselves. It's the crazy holiday season right now, so please look after yourselves as well, because there's no music without the musician. And again, once more, a huge thank you to Katri and Reiner for sharing your amazing knowledge with the world. Like, holy cow, this is a wealth of information, and I learned stuff today. So thank you. And yeah, I love y'all. All right. I will see you guys later. I will come back next week for another stream. Next week's stream will be a Woodify review. And this time what we're going to do is, instead of trying a bunch of Woodifies on the same flute, we're going to try the same Woodify on several flutes to see how that affects it. So it's going to be a really fun stream. That's going to be next Thursday, December 5th. at 9 a.m. Pacific. And we're doing that so that our European friends can watch when it's not in the middle of the night. All right. Okay. I love you so very much. For those of you guys who celebrate U.S. Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving, and spend a lot of time with your loved ones and just, relax because we need that. All right. Laters, guys. Bye.